Hey guys, it's cold, it's snowing. I think we should cook some mountain pies and talk about some stuff. So here we go. I've been wandering around for a little while. I think it's time to take a rest. And do a little bit of cooking. I very rarely do this kind of thing, you know, show the setup of the cooking and all that. And it's something I definitely like to get into doing with you guys. So here we go. This, by the way, I got a lot of questions about this the last time I used it in a video. It's a mountain pie maker. It's basically just like a grill that goes onto a camping stove or an open fire. This one probably not the best for an open fire, just because these handles are plastic. I would like to get one that has wooden handles and that telescopically extends. Excuse me. So I could use this on an open fire. But for now, we use the camping stove. The snow holds stuff so nicely. It's great. I have my sandwiches pre-made here. By the way, I'll address the elephant in the room that everybody always talks about. These are cheese sandwiches. I'm going to toast them. Whatever I call them upsets people. Whenever I say toasty, a load of people call it a grilled cheese. Whenever I say grilled cheese, a load of people get annoyed at me because here in Ireland we call them toasties. But throw all of that out the window. A friend of mine, maybe a year ago or so, introduced me to the term mountain pie because I showed him this and he went, "Oh, a mountain pie maker." And he's American. I don't know if it's all of America or just the area he's from. They call toasted cheese sandwiches when made outside mountain pies. I love it. I don't care. I don't care if I'm Irish and I should call them toasties. I don't care if I should call them grilled cheeses. They're mountain pies to me. And I don't give a single flying monkey's turd what you want me to call it. This is a mountain pie because that's the coolest way you could ever describe them, I think. These are sausage rolls. I have never cooked a sausage roll in this, so I'm going to give it a go. Throw it like a knife, see if I can stick it in the snow. Come on. But yeah. How was your guys' Christmas, huh? My Christmas was pretty good. Spent it with the family, which is always lovely. My fiancée, still sounds weird to say that, is from Lithuania. So they celebrate on Christmas Eve rather than Christmas Day, so the 24th rather than the 25th to us, as a lot of Eastern Europe does. So we spent, my mother spent Christmas Eve, oh my god, Christmas Eve so the 24th with that side of the family. And then 25th, back to the homestead. And did the dinner and presents and everything on the 25th. And then for New Year's, did a really cool thing that I've been sort of making a tradition out of recently, which is we go up the mountains with some fireworks, and we don't let off fireworks because that's not legal. But it was beautiful. It was really nice. And also from the view of the mountain, there's a town in the valley below, and you can see all of the other people setting off fireworks, which is always nice because it kind of makes you feel like you're part of a little community, you know, all celebrating at the same time, which is always amazing. Quick tip, by the way, always carry one of these, never a lighter for one of these. If you're going to be cooking with one of these, have one of these. This is just a ferro rod. I can't remember how much I paid for it or where I got it. It's lasted me a good year now and hasn't worn down hardly at all. Definitely get one of these, because this doesn't matter if it's raining, doesn't matter if it's windy, never runs out of gas, doesn't matter if it gets wet, nothing matters. You can always just strike a flame. And even if you don't have, which did happen to me in one of my previous adventures, there's a video about it on this channel. I went for a camping experience, an adventure, if you will, and I forgot everything. Literally everything that I can cook with. I didn't have this, I didn't have this, I didn't have this, I didn't have anything. all I had with me was this, my knife, and a few bits, because we'd forgotten everything else. Don't ask me how I managed that. And we managed to get a fire lit with just this and then cook our full dinner. So they're always super handy to have. And like, I mean, even I don't just carry them on adventures. I always have this bag on me. Right now there's like 3 things in this bag. It's almost empty, but I always have this bag on me for a couple of reasons. One, I always have a couple of little bits on inside the bag, and it's waterproof. So if I'm ever out and I suddenly need to keep something waterproof because it's raining, I throw it in there. But one of the things I have in there is that ferro rod at all times. It's amazing. Even like, I don't personally smoke, but I've been out with people who do smoke and they've forgotten lighters, and we've had to make a small little fire so they can light their, we'll say, cigarettes for the purpose of this, but I think it was something else. This is a little bit wide for this, as you may notice. This is designed for 2 mountain pies, but we'll do a little bit of juggling and I think it'll be okay. I really wish you could see the view that I can see right now. There's just a load of frozen trees and the sun creeping through, which is really, really nice. Really, really nice to look at. But yeah, I hope you guys had a great Christmas anyway, and I hope it wasn't too much of a consumerist Christmas, you know? There's nothing wrong with buying stuff. There's nothing wrong with buying stuff and enjoying buying things and giving presents, but do you know, I find that giving presents and doing all of that takes away from the family values of Christmas to an extent. I think definitely we've moved away from, this is a nightmare to get back together once it fell apart. We've definitely moved away from some of the more organic values, that's how I'll say it, of Christmas in recent years, because I feel like ad campaigns have convinced us that we don't love each other if we don't give each other vastly expensive and throwaway gifts. No. I love talking about consumerism, by the way, because I'm sitting here in a North Face jacket and everybody immediately freaks out about that. As I'm sure some of you watching this just did. I'm sure some of you watching this definitely just went, well, I hate this guy because he said that and he's wearing a North Face jacket. I have addressed that before, but the way I see it, I wouldn't really say my jacket's a fashion statement. I don't particularly like the way that it looks. What it is a piece of equipment, so it allows me to go out in temperatures like this and be totally cozy. And you know what? There's actually another layer to that. Everything I just said is way more applicable to other parts of my clothing. This jacket specifically, I acquired in a different way for a different reason. I used to be a very different person. A very different person that did nefarious and unpleasant things for money. And there's a certain uniform that comes with being that kind of person, if you read between the lines and get what I mean. And that is usually a black tracksuit and a puffer jacket. I've actually had this puffer jacket since back then. This is about 6 or 7 years old, this jacket. Maybe more. But I keep it around because it's extremely useful in my outdoors life. So I keep it on. I hope this is going to work. I've never done sausage rolls in this before. I do hope it's going to work. I have something else to cook as well, or something else to have, which I'm very excited for. I have this cup, which was gifted to me by the Axe Club in Dublin, in Ireland. Amazing people, became my friends after that interaction. Great, great people. But in it is sugar and coffee with, I call it cling film. If you're American, I think you call it saran wrap or cellophane. Cling film, I don't know. I'm very excited because what I'm going to do is, this is a coffee, and in it will go, jeez, so many things in my bag, this whiskey. For those of you that haven't kept up with my journey, probably freaking out right now because you know me as a sober person and I've just said whiskey. There's a whole video on it on my other platforms. I'll definitely make a video on it on here at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it because I got very lazy at some point last year. Got distracted with a load of different things. But yeah, so I was sober for 4.5 years, 4 years, something around 4 years. I could get I always hesitate to say an exact number because I didn't actually, I have the date written down, but I just don't have it memorized. It was 4 years or slightly more. I was completely sober from everything. I used to be a horrendous drug addict. I used to drink a lot. hang around with a load of dodgy people and be a generally violent, unpleasant human being with other generally violent and unpleasant human beings. And then I went completely clean, changed my life. And in that process, I stopped consuming alcohol. And then after 4 years, my brother had a baby. And as a celebration, we went for a pint. We went for a pint of beer. A pint of Beamish, which, if you don't know what that is basically Guinness, but only made in the city of Cork in Ireland. And it is far superior to any other stout out there, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, so I've been drinking again. I say drinking, I wouldn't say that I really drink. I have consumed alcohol a couple of times since, and I loved it over Christmas because I could have things like Irish whiskies. And it was more than just the pleasure of enjoying a substance. There was two things involved. First of all, I'd never really had a problem with alcohol. I never had a problem with alcohol. I had a problem with drugs. And so I wasn't really afraid to drink. I didn't think that it would make me lose control and start doing a bunch of terrible things. So I wasn't too bothered with that. I'm the same with edible. I probably can't say the word actually on here. Edible greenery. And also edible fun guys. Just fun dudes, fun guys to be around. Just fun guys. Edible fun guys. No problem with that. My problem would be the other stuff. Everything else. Just everything else. I don't even have to list it off. Just was a complete menace for everything else. Especially cigarettes, funnily enough. And I also would never smoke anything. Ever again. But this works so quickly, it's crazy. Like, we've already got a brown spot, look. I have to spin it around. So when I went back to alcohol... No, I won't yet. When I went back to alcohol, I wasn't afraid that it would make me lose control. And the big thing is, as somebody who is completely sober, you always look... Or I guess maybe you don't look, but you feel like a victim of your past. I definitely felt like a victim of my past. As in, like, you know, people would say, you know, oh, do you want to taste this? Do you want to drink that? Do you want to do, like, just anything, like social stuff, not going out and getting absolutely wasted, but literally just like, oh, it's a lovely whiskey. And I actually really enjoy whiskey. I'm a big whiskey person, not for the alcohol, but I like the flavor, I like the process, I think it's cool. And they go, oh, do you want to try this? And I go, no, I don't drink. And they go, well, you can just have a little sip. And I go, I don't drink. And they go, oh, so you're a recovering raging addict then. And you kind of, it feels like a wound that you're always looking after. If anybody watching this has been through that journey, you definitely know what I mean. So yeah, it's nice to have gotten to a point in my journey where I no longer feel like like I'm disabled by my past addictions. All of the things that shouldn't be in my life are now not in my life. All the things that just went along with that now are slowly creeping back in. Like, I can go and socialize with people in a setting where, you know, they're drinking and things like that, and it's not a problem. It's not a big deal, you know. I'm not worried, I'm not nervous. I feel like a normal person, and I can just enjoy myself. And that is beautiful. And it's also led to other things, which I've really enjoyed, which is I really like IPA beers. I feel like I have a mustache and I wear a lot of Carhartt, and to look at me, you know I'd probably enjoy an IPA. I also really like whiskey. I don't like mixing it really. I know I'm about to put it in a coffee, which is technically mixing it, but I don't really like mixing it. I like whiskey. I like I wouldn't say the vibe. Maybe the vibe, yeah. I like the flavour, I like the burn. I love it at the end of a long hike. I've been enjoying it over this winter really nicely. Which is, if I go for a hike in the snow or whatever, it's really nice to just take a little shot of whiskey with me, have it at the top of the mountain or whatever. It just warms the cockles. I'm not entirely sure what cockles are. Somebody wants to tell me if I've just said a rude word or not. But it warms my cockles are warm after it. That's what I'm telling you. I'm not entirely sure what my cockles are, but they're toasty. That's what I know. And it's a nice experience, and it's also really cool because I get to enjoy things like that. Every time I talk about anything, everybody thinks I'm advertising it or somehow affiliated with the brand that it came from. I'm not. I've no idea anything about this brand. What I like is that I live in Ireland, and this is called the Galtee Mountain Boy, and I was born and bred very near the Galtee Mountains. And that speaks to me. Do you know what I mean? I like that it's made where I'm from. And also the fact that it's in kind of an old, like, porcelain isn't the word. Whatever this material is, it's like an old moonshiner bottle, and it has a cork that smells delicious, to say the least. Now, I've had this bottle a couple of wee months, maybe 2 months or something, and I've been gently tipping away at it. And I found recently that it goes unfairly good in a coffee, bodacious in a coffee, obnoxiously good in a coffee. Coffee now, because this is becoming decidedly melted. Oh yeah. Oh. Ridiculously good. There's just this idea that it's so difficult to be an outdoorsy person. It's so expensive, and you have to have these skills and all of this time, and it's not attainable to most people, but it is. It's literally just the outside. It's where we belong. It's where we should be. You don't have to have a load of camping equipment, cooking equipment. You can cook it in your house. I have just that and this, and the meal in front of me. You can cook it in your house. You don't have to... I'm not going to stir this with a knife. You don't have to have all of this fancy stuff. And the other thing is the time that it, the ease of it. Like, you can make sandwiches in your house. You don't even have to grill them. You can just take them with you. You don't even have to have any cooking equipment. When you go hiking or camping or anything, you can just take with you food from your house. And everybody often, when I say, look, I started with no equipment, they go, well, how did you cook your food? I didn't. I ate food that didn't need to be cooked. That's what I did. I just ate food that you could just have. Sandwiches, cereal, noodles, and get hot water from petrol stations, gas stations. Mountain pies are so good. Look at that. Ah. A little bit of cream for the coffee. Don't shake it too much because it'll turn into whipped cream. Ask me how I know. Oh. People often tell me that the way that I'm living is not planning for the future and I'll never be successful because of it. I'd say this is success. Ridiculously good. Being able to do this, being out, able-bodied, enjoying the world around me, consuming delicious food, and just being able to enjoy my own peace. I really don't see what money could buy me that would make this any better. You have to pay your tax and give the birds a little bread. Now, we're going to try making the sausage rolls. There's a couple of things. I've never done that in this. I feel like the outside might burn before the inside cooks. And I don't know whether to do it in the foil or not. They're about this big. Just so we're all aware of what's going on here. They're about this long, about this wide, about that thick, sausage and roll. That's pretty much all of it. I have a temptation to do it in this for a couple of reasons. I feel like it will disperse the heat better. And the other big thing is if it goes terribly wrong and they stick to everything and I can't get it off, I've ruined the tin foil, not my mountain pie maker. I think this might be working, but I'm not sure. I'm absolutely loving making this video, by the way. I'm definitely going to be making more like this throughout this year. Because the short form stuff on my other platforms is, you know, it's fun. I really enjoy it. I love doing it. I love talking. I love getting things off my chest. I love sharing my opinions on stuff. But I really love my adventures. I enjoy my adventures so much, and I very rarely broadcast them. And I go on so many, it seems a shame not to bring you guys along with me. And a lot of the time I don't, because I feel like to record it, it has to be a certain type of adventure, but it doesn't. It doesn't. That's just me putting something on myself. I'm definitely gonna start broadcasting the stuff that I do throughout this year a little more, because I do so many of these adventures, you know, and I just keep them to myself. I'd love to share them. I wonder if this is cooked. I'd say it is. I would say that it is. So guys, this has been amazing. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed making the food. I enjoyed talking to ye. I'm glad that you came along with me for this adventure. And I really hope that it inspired somebody else to go out into the wilderness and cook a little food and just enjoy being outside and enjoy the peace that comes with. I can't wait to see you in the next one. I think it's time to break down and meander back. I hope you have a great day.